Welcome to In the Meadows with your host, me, Hiba Kiyosaka. Today we're going to be talking about Push Your Positives with Mr. Oshenbury. But firstly, I would like to just inform you guys about the podcast. This podcast is a community podcast. This is for everybody. We want you guys to join our team. We want you guys to be part of this. You guys can be guests, hosts, anything. Up to you. And if you guys do want to take part in it, make sure you email podcast@judgemeadow.org.uk. That is the podcast email. So when you email us, we can, if you want to be part of us, you can always email that and we will get your email and we'll send you a response back. Also, make sure to follow us on Instagram for regular updates about the podcast, and make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel as all our podcasts will be posted there. Anyways, let's get into today's hot topic with Mr. Oshenbury.
Hello, thank you for inviting me on.
No worries, sir. Can you please tell us what is your roles in our school and what we'll be talking about today?
Of course. So my name is Mr. Oshenbury. I'm part of the senior leadership team here at Judge Meadow. Some of my responsibilities are rewards, behaviour and school culture. And obviously today we're going to be discussing the Push for Positive initiative that we recently introduced.
That is so amazing, sir. Thank you for coming on today,
You're welcome.
taking the time out of your day. So let's start with the first question. How did you come up with Push Your Positives?
So Push for Positive is something that we introduced, myself and Mrs. Cole Hennessy, as an opportunity to reward our students for all the amazing things they do each day. And we try to align it with our school culture and ethos of working hard, being proud, being organised and disciplined and respecting each other.
That is really, really good. And have you seen any student engagement with this?
Yes, it's been really, really successful. So we launched it just after the Easter break, and the first week was looking at punctuality. So I was expecting our students to be organised, to make sure that they get to lessons on time, and get to the school day on time as well. And as a result, it's really, really positive. We had a reduction of 53% of late marks from the previous week, when we launched the Push for Positive scheme in terms of punctuality.
And I know there's a challenge going on this week as well. Do you want to explain the challenge?
Yes, so each week's focusing on a certain topic. Like I said, it's in line with our school culture. And then as it stands, we have form tutor competitions where they get a certain reward. So as I mentioned, the first week was looking at punctuality. So the form in each year group had the fewest late marks. They received a lunch queue pass to use for the whole entire week. So it's a collective effort. We're focused on teamwork. For the last 2 weeks, we've been looking at SLANT, so we're looking at our students who are working hard in lessons. As you know, SLANT stands for Sitting Up Straight, so we expect all of our students in lessons to be sat up straight. We want them to make sure that they're listening and they're taking an active part within the lesson, so they're asking and answering questions, and they're never interrupting, and they are tracking the speaker. So students are getting merits this week looking at SLANT, and those students are demonstrated across the board of their lessons.
That's really good. Can you give us the inside scoop about what's next week's challenge?
So in terms of next week, obviously by the end of this week today, on Friday, we're going to calculate who's got the most SLANT merits as a form group, and the form that has the most SLANT merits will be given a chocolate prize, and that'll be announced on Monday. To give you a bit of an exclusive, next week we are looking at being kind at social time. So we're looking at those students are demonstrating acts of kindness. So that might be picking up their rubbish and make sure it goes in the bin, socialising with their friends, being sat down and eating and talking, discussing over their lunchtime. And we're, like I said, it's a form. We're looking at individuals to work hard at social time.
Have you seen any kind behaviour in social time?
Several. So yesterday I had a year 8 student come up to me who found their AirPods on the field and who handed it in and was able to give those AirPods back to the rightful owner. The day before that I had some year 10 boys found a mobile phone to me and handed it in, and again was able to replace back to the owner of the phone. And then the week before that we found 2 year 8s found £20 on the floor, was able to give it back into school, so we'll be able to give it to the people who own that £20. So again, it demonstrates acts of kindness at social time, and these are the types of behaviour that makes me really, really proud of our students, where they're working together and being kind, respecting others, not just in their lessons, but they also display those characteristics outside of school, which is really important.
That is really, really good, because that is what Judge Meadows is all about. We set trends, and I think Push Your Positives is something a lot of the other schools will start doing now because we've done it.
I hope so.
So, who came up with the name and who came up with this idea?
This is something that myself and Mrs. Cole Hennessy were discussing, and like I said, we wanted to focus on rewarding our students more regularly. As you know, we have lots of reward systems here at Judge Meadows where you get merits, and if you hit a certain milestone, you get your badges for your bronze, silver, gold and platinum. And then obviously at the end of each term we have a In It to Win It competition where heads of the year do random spins, and then you can be allocated a £25 high cross voucher or £10 high cross voucher. But we wanted to find something and introduce something where students are getting rewarded more regularly and they see those tangible rewards. So it's something that Mrs. Cole Hennessy and I was talking about. Mrs. Cole Hennessy thought of the name Push for Positives. I think it's a really catchy slogan, and each week we work together to decide what sort of area we want to focus on. Like I said, we looked at punctuality and organisation, and looked at kindness next week, and then we look at the results together.
That is amazing, and I love how it's a collective teamwork and it's not just one person doing it all. I love how you and Mr. Cole Hennessy are working together, and I think that's what Judge Meadows is all about, working together to create big stuff and make stuff happen in our school.
I think it's fantastic, and I spend a lot of time walking around the corridors and out at social time, and it's great to see students working hard on their lessons and being punctual and being respectful, and again those sort of characteristics displayed at social time as well, and these are the things that make me really proud of all of our students here at Judge Meadows.
So, Mr. Ashtonbury, I have a question for you
Yes.
about Year 11s. So this week, Year 11s, or next week, they're doing the GCSEs,
Yes.
and Push for Positives is obviously going to help them out, because this is a thing for the whole school to
Yes.
take part in. So what is the Year 11s taking away with them?
Like I said, the whole scheme of Push for Positives is focusing on our culture here at Judge Meadows, and we look at some key values of, like I said, of working hard, being kind, being organised, and being disciplined. And all of these traits are key characteristics and essential skills they need to be successful in their exams, but not only that, when they leave school and go to college. So they need to be organised, they need to make sure that they know what lessons they've got the next day, and when they get their job they need to make sure they're punctual and they arrive on time so they're set up and ready for the day of work. So these are the essential skills that we're trying to teach to our Year 11s, ready for when they do their GCSE exams, and in addition to that when they go to college and get a full-time job. But equally, it's not just targeted to the Year 11s. We're looking at all students, so we want all of our students to make sure that they're punctual and working hard, even from Year 7 all the way up to Year 10 and Year 11, because we feel it's an important skill they need to have to be successful. And if you look at the statistics in terms of punctuality, if students are 3 minutes on average late for each lesson, that equates to nearly 49 lessons they will lose each year, which is a substantial amount of learning. So it's really important that we sweat the small stuff and we get to lessons on time and we get the best outcome possible for those 60 minutes of learning when they're in lessons.
I agree. Because punctuality is something that won't just come in handy in school, but getting to your job early, getting to a meeting, it'll help in your whole life. And I think that's something that Judge Meadows really works around, is being punctual, organised, kind, everything. And that's really good about Judge Meadows, because it's a collective teamwork effort that everyone puts in.
And we want a bit of competition. We want to try and identify who is the best form group in each year group. So I know TBU, they won the first competition for Year 7s. They all got given their lunch queue pass, which is fantastic. But we want people to be proud of their form and form tutors to be proud of their duties, which I know they are, and get a sense of competition within that as well. So as it stands, Year 9 seems to be the best year group because they've got the most slant merits across the board. So there's a bit of a competition between the older year groups. But not only that, it's also competitive with the younger year groups in the school.
So that's a message for everybody right there. Everybody, we need to beat Year 9s. Year 9s are doing the best at the moment, so that's a little bit of an inside scoop that we need to beat Year 9s. And Year 9s, you guys have to work even harder.
But I am really proud of every single student, because as I said, we are focusing this week on slant, and since we started the competition 2 weeks ago, we've had almost 9,000 slant merits awarded to our students, which clearly demonstrates that consistently students are working really hard to be focused on their lessons and trying to go above and beyond to be successful. And it's great to see that every single lesson I pop my head in, I see students working extremely hard, which makes me proud.
So you have seen an improvement in children?
Massively. Like I said, punctuality was down by 53%, and we've had almost 9,000 slant merits awarded within the last 9 days.
That is crazy. So do you think other schools will try Push for Positives like we have?
I hope so. Like I said, it's a great opportunity to reward students, and it's that instant reward which is really tangible, so they can see what they've done was successful, and as a result they get a reward. So it's a great scheme. It's an opportunity to recognise all the great stuff that people do each day.
And I just would like to put out that if anybody does have any questions about Push Your Positives, or if they want to talk to Mr. Oshenbury about anything, then you can email us on our podcast email, which is podcast@judgemeadow.org.uk, or you can come and see Mr. Oshenbury and ask him any questions, because I'm sure he will never not hesitate on answering your question.
Of course, and what I'm really interested in is hearing from students what sort of rewards they would like to get. So obviously the first one was lunch queue passes based on the feedback that we got prior to the Easter break. This week's the reward's going to be a chocolate reward for the form group that has the most stamp merit. So I'm really keen to see what rewards students would like to get in terms of the push your positives. So obviously the overall competition for this term is the form group that has the best behaviour to reward ratio will be given a pizza party on the last day of term. So what we're going to do is we're going to order lots of pizzas in during the last day of term. We'll invite the form group down and their form tutor who has the best ratio, and they'll be having a pizza party on that last day. So I'm really keen to see if they enjoy that side of it or what other rewards they could get.
So have you gotten any feedback from like your younger and older students?
So lots of year sevens are really keen about it, year eights, but also it's really competitive in the year 11s. They like the regular update in terms of the leaderboard, which the form has the best ratio in terms of merits and behaviour. So the feedback we're receiving from students is really, really positive. We'll have lots of staff members reporting they're really enjoying it, and like I said, they can see how progressive their form's going to be in terms of their behaviour and punctuality. So the feedback as it stands is really, really positive, and we want that to continue because it's all about rewards and celebrating the good things that we do on each and every single day.
Yeah, we're talking a lot about the students. Do you think this Push Your Positives have had any effects on teachers wise, like seeing that everyone's been so punctual and on time, and like being more kind, being
Definitely. Like I said, the first time we launched it with the punctuality, as you know, form tutors and teachers are out on break duty every single day. It's great to see that as soon as the first bell goes, that all the students are quickly coming off the field and getting to their lesson on time. And staff are really appreciating now because they're getting the full 60 minutes of learning, and they're able to do their retrieval practice at the start of the lesson, which obviously benefits in their education. So the feedback we get from staff is really positive.
And I think that's something that Judge Meadows really tries to do, is encourage everybody to join in when people are doing something. And I think that's amazing.
I think that's what we try to aspire to be, is like celebrating all the amazing things that we do on a consistent basis, which is really good. So like I said, if you've got any other ideas in terms of rewards that we could do, I'd be really keen to hear, or any advice that you'd like us to change in terms of Push Your Positives.
Of course, we always need the feedback, even if it's good or bad. We always want everybody's input because we need that, because this is not for the teachers or just us specific students, for everybody. Like the podcast is for everybody, and it's a communal thing, and we want everyone to be part of it.
Definitely, and like I said, it's about working together and striving forward to being the best we can be.
Thank you, Mr. Ashbury, so much. I think a lot of people have learned about Push Your Positives today. I've learned a lot, and I'm really happy that you came, you took out the time of your day.
You're more than welcome.
And thank you so much. And I'd just like to remind everybody about the podcast. It's a communal podcast. Everybody can be part of it. You can interview Mr. Oshenbury.
More than welcome to.
You can interview Mr. Cole Hennessy with Mr. Oshenbury. You can talk to some Mr. Oshenbury as well. And make sure you email me, Mr. Chowdhury, anybody, on podcast@judgemeadow.org.uk. That is the email for this podcast. If you want to be a guest, if you want to be a host, whatever you want to do, even if you just want to ask some questions, you email us on that email, and obviously we'll answer you back. Thank you so much for listening to our podcast.
Thank you very much for having me today. And remember, we've got 2 more weeks for the final competition for the pizza party. So keep working hard, keep trying to get as many merits as possible, and hopefully your form can be invited to the pizza party on the last Friday.
Hopefully. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.